Farming is not just a job. Farming is a way of life. A desolate land is a land thirsty of farmers. And because we know how important farmers are to every nation, that's why we reintroduce to you the Voice of the Farmers. Voice of the Farmers is a media brand that celebrates, educates, and promotes farmers with constant trainees and guide on how best to be a successful farmer. We also link farmers to the right markets to sell their produce and to the right marketers. Voice of the Farmers is active on Facebook, Instagram, and Thread at Voice of the Farmers. We are also on YouTube at Voice of the Farmers TV. For more inquiry on how to link up with Voice of the Farmers, please call 0907 872 8228 or 0706 662 8752. Voice of the Farmers. We celebrate, educate, and promote farmers.
Yes, we celebrate, we educate, and we promote farmers. My name is Garuba Fisolumide. I'm the founder of Voice of the Farmer, and today we are going to be having a short interview session, or let me say a podcast session with the founder and the CEO of LIMAH ADEJOKE Foundation. They are into anything environmental, sustainability, and let me say last week Friday we just had that is World Cleanup Day, where we celebrated the World Cleanup Day, where we understand and know why it is important for us to have a cleaner environment. And today, when it comes to anything you see me on, definitely it's going to be about agriculture. So we want to see how can we infuse the cleanliness of an environment into agriculture, and that is what we are going to be discussing today on our show today. And that is why we have an environmentalist. She's a student of Lagos State University. She's still in school, but definitely while she's still in school, she have a foundation where she's talking about environmental sustainability. She's at the backstage. I'll bring her on board. Just come and talk to us about what their foundation does and how they think it is very important for us to have a cleaner environment for farming activities. So let me just bring her on board so that she'll be able to talk to us about what she feels about having a cleaner environment, in how it contributes to what we call food security and how it can contribute to agricultural sector. Yes, good evening today. Good evening today. Hello,
Yes,
can you
good
hear me?
evening, everyone. Yes, I can
Yes,
hear
good
you, sir.
evening. Yes, for the sake of people that are meeting you for the first time, I want to believe this is your first time of coming on our show on Voice of the Farmer. So I want you to kindly introduce yourself to people and definitely tell us what you do and what really inspired you to start what you are doing. Thank you.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Alima Sadiq. I am an environmental advocate and the founder of the ADEJOKE Foundation. So basically, the ADEJOKE Foundation is an NGO that focuses on environmental protection. So we come up with cleanup and we advocate on youth participation, how the youth can participate on keeping the environment clean and for sustainable practice. So
Okay, now
basically,
I okay, you can continue.
yes, sir, you can.
Hello, okay,
Hello?
yes, I'm with you. You want to say
Okay.
something before?
No, sir. You can come up.
Yeah, yes, I wanted to ask a question, before we start talking about what we are supposed to talk about on the show today. Definitely we have other things we can venture into. I wanted to know what really inspired you to come up with the show, like, sorry, with the foundation. You said LIMAH and ADEJOKE, and you are talking about environmental sustainability. So what's what the brain behind this? What really inspired you to come up with an initiative like that?
Okay, so basically, I've usually been a volunteer for so many organizations, for environmental organizations, and you know, I have come to realize that most youths don't really have this passion, and because when you call them for let's do this, let's do that, let's
Oh, I think the network is not
let's
too good
care
for
for
me.
our environment, they feel hello.
Yes, I can hear you now. I think the network is not too good from our end there, but definitely what she was talking about is just what really inspired her to start LIMAH ADEJOKE Foundation. And what they do at LIMAH ADEJOKE Foundation is just what we are talking about, sustainable environment, how we can have a cleaner environment. But now, how it's related to what we do at Voice of the Farmer is just that how can we have a cleaner environment how does it relate to agriculture? When you have a cleaner environment, definitely the food you are eating, that means they are also clean as well. You remember, definitely we cannot do without environment, because the plants will grow, the fish will rear, the animal will rear. They are definitely done on the environment. That means environment and agriculture, they go hand in hand. So one cannot even do without one, and that is why we have an environmental expert. I said it earlier on that she's a student of Lagos State University, where she's studying something that related to environment, and she's talking to us about what really inspired her to start, or let me say, started a foundation that is talking about environmental sustainability. And I think the network from our own end is not too good, and that is why we are not able to hear her. But if you are just joining us, this is Voice of the Farmer, and today we are using this to commemorate the international that is World Cleanup Day, which we had last week. So we hope we are going to be having her back, probably if the network is good from our own end. But before she come back, let us just go on this short break. We'll be right back.
Àgbẹ̀, àgbẹ̀, àgbẹ̀ ló láyé o, mo máa bá gbẹ̀ lọ o. Àgbẹ̀ ló láyé o, láyé fi gún. Àgbẹ̀ ló láyé o, láyé fi gún. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ìlú tí ò bá ságbẹ̀ lè bí ọ̀gbàgbà fọwọ́ mẹ́kẹ́ tí máa ń bá wọn múlẹ̀ bí ẹ̀gbẹ́ iṣu. Show me a city without farmers and I will show you a land of farming. Nítorí àwa mọ pàtàkì àwọn àgbẹ̀ láwùjọ, la ṣe ṣàgbékalẹ̀ ikọ̀ Voice of the Farmers. Ohùn fún àwọn àgbẹ̀, Voice of the Farmers jẹ́ ikọ̀ tó ń dá sí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn àgbẹ̀ jákèjádò nípa ìṣètò àwọn ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó yè kooro lóòrèkóòrè lórí ìlànà à ń gbà ṣiṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ lọ́nà tí yóò fi pé ni ìgbélárugẹ àti àyẹ́sí àwọn àgbẹ̀, education, celebration and promotion of farmers. Voice of the Farmers. Voice of the Farmers wà lórí àwọn ìtàkùn káyélujára bíi Facebook, Instagram àti Thread at Voice of the Farmers. Bẹ́ẹ̀ la tún wà lórí YouTube at Voice of the Farmers TV. A tún máa ń ṣe ìsopọ̀ láàárín àwọn àgbẹ̀ àti àwọn alágbàtà èrè oko tó fi mọ́ àwọn ọjà tó tọ́ láti ta èrè oko sí kí èrè oko wa má bàa ṣòfò. We link farmers to the right market for sale. We also help farmers to market their farm produce. Fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé, ẹ lè kàn sí Voice of the Farmers lórí àwọn nọ́mbà wọ̀nyí 0907 872 8288 tàbí 0706 662 8752. Voice of the Farmers. Ohùn àwọn àgbẹ̀. We celebrate, educate and promote farmers.
Yes, we celebrate, educate, and promote farmers. So welcome back from that short break where we have an advert from Voice of the Farmer, which tell us what we do at Voice of the Farmer. I hope if we have our back at the back end, I want to believe we are going to bring her back. But definitely, let me just talk about something that is going to be very important to all of us that are listening to me. If you are farmers, if you are enthusiasts, if you just want to start farming, why it is important for us to understand why we need to have a cleaner environment is just because sometimes we need to understand what climate change is. Sometimes ago, maybe a few weeks ago, or let me say 3 weeks ago, we had an issue at Meduguri. Yes, I'm not saying it was because of their maybe their environment is not clean. That was what caused the flood. But sometimes it may be a factor to that as well, because when your drainages are being blocked, or maybe you don't have a cleaner environment, when floods happen, definitely they need a way to pass. Maybe the water needs a passage to go, and if there is a blockade in the drainage, definitely they will need to go to other place, which may lead to flooding as well. But now let me just go down to why it is important for us to have a cleaner environment, because we are using this to commemorate the World Cleanup Day, and that is what we are doing here today. So it is very important for you as a farmer to make sure anywhere you are going to plant, anywhere you are going to be doing anything, are very, very clean. We are talking about waste management now, and even some people have already even identified that yes, we can turn waste to wealth, because some of the waste that could cause nuisance, that could cause issues to our drainages, to our land, can also be turned to wealth. You are turning waste to wealth, you are turning trash to cash now. So that is one of the things that we need to look into when you're talking about sustainable environment. Remember, climate change is real. I always say this, but definitely what can you do to mitigate the effect of climate change is what you should look into as a farmer. And today we are looking at how is it important for you to have a cleaner environment as a farmer, which is going to contribute to the food that we eat, how safe the food we eat are. So let me just bring her back. I hope she will have a good network now. Yes. Hello. You have mute your mic. Just unmute yourself so that I'll be able to hear you very well. Okay, now, okay, now let me just go straight to the point. I think your mic is smooth again. Just check because maybe I think the network is not too good from your own end there. So now, just tell us, as an environmentalist, as someone that is into environmental sustainability. So, what do you think environment contributes to farming activities? That I said this before you come that you cannot do farming without environment because you do your farming activities in an environment that makes it very important for you as a farmer, as every individual, to have a clean environment because it really have a great factor in what we put into our system. So you as an environmentalist, what will you say to people that are farming, or let me say everybody, on us having a cleaner environment because it contributes greatly to our food that we put in. So now I think your mic is smooth again. Just try and unmute yourself and you start talking. Hello. Hey, I think the network is not too good from our end. I think the network is very, very bad from our own end there. So, but if you are hearing us, or maybe you are listening to what I'm saying, I was saying, can you just tell us what are the rules, what are the things people can do, especially farmers, or maybe farmers, maybe agricultural enthusiasts, or people can do to have a cleaner environment, which is going to contribute greatly to the food we take in as well. But I think your network is not good. Hello, can you hear me? Hey. I think this network is very, very bad. So, but probably let's see if we are going to have her again. But what I'm just talking about is just that having a cleaner environment, which is going to contribute to what we call food security, and how the food we eat really have impact in the environment as well. I want to believe we are going to have her maybe some other time. Let's just wait if she can join us again. But if she can't, probably maybe we'll just schedule the interview to another time. But now, for you to not just watch this video alone, I want you to also learn one or two things from this video. I'm just telling you that you as a farmer, don't just be a farmer alone, be a smart farmer. And if you are a smart farmer, that is where you are going to know that yes, my environment must be clean. My environment must be clean, and definitely I must do the right thing for me to have the right results. And that is why we are going to be rounding up the show today, because I think our guest network is not too good from our own end there. Let's see if we can have something better from her. Let's see if we can have. So I think she's at the back end again. Let's see what we can do with her. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Yes, I think we can hear you now. Just talk. I think you have a poor network from your own end there. Just talk, talk.
Okay, so basically, this webinar is actually organized to commemorate the World Cleanup Day, which is usually celebrated on the 20th of September every year. And for this year, it was being celebrated with the theme Make Room for Life. So I like to start with the theme Make Room for Life. When we say make room for life in general aspect, I mean you trying to create time, your space and your energy for either maybe relationship, it could be either personal growth or life experience. But when we talk of environmental aspects, make room for life means you embracing sustainability and conservation efforts and advocating for environmental practice. So now I'll be relating this to our topic for today, which says what are the roles of community in keeping the environment, the agricultural space clean? So, first of all, we all know that the food we take in is being produced by the farmer. But before a farmer can produce any food, it has to go through the planting process. And while going through the planting process, they have to deal with farmland, and that is what we mean by the agricultural space. And when we talk about agricultural space, we are not only talking about where farm animals are being reared. So the rules of community in keeping the space clean, without not taking much of our time, I would just like to briefly explain 2 points. The community can actually help in keeping the environment, the agricultural space clean by coming up with either cleanup or sensitization. Because as an environmentalist, I have come to realize that we mostly focus on okay, if you're organizing a cleanup, we focus on okay, let's clear the walkway, let's clear the drainage, or let's go into the marketplace and do a little bit of cleanup and sensitization. But I think it is high time we now focus on agricultural space. And I think this is one of the roles the community should play in keeping the environmental space clean. Coming up with cleanup whereby volunteers pledge their support and do a little bit of cleanup on the agricultural space, which is the farmland or either a poultry or a place where animals are being bred. That is one. I think by so doing this, you're actually supporting the farmer. Yeah, that is
Mm,
one. And secondly, we can actually they can actually play their own roles by coming up with training. to educate the farmers, because we have the educated farmers and we have those that are not educated. And those that are not educated, that is why some the young people still see farming as, how will I go to school and still become a farmer? As a teenage, they see farming as a dirty job. This is the way they see the ones that are not educated. So by coming up with seminars, training, at least to inculcate them, to sensitize the farmer, and to change the narrative, because we cannot wait for the government to organize a be an agribusiness blah 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 seminar. No, because by so doing that, that is where classes comes in. Not everybody will get involved. You have the total farmer getting involved. How about the local ones? So when the community come up with, okay, let's have a training, let's at least train our farmers in the community. By that, we will not leave anyone behind. Everybody would get involved. So that is true. So I think those 2 points, I think it is very, very important. By coming up with cleanup and sensitization, and secondly, educating the farmers. I mean, the local ones. So I think those are the 2 points we need to look into for now.
Yes,
Thank you,
thank you
sir.
very much for that. I want to appreciate the fact that you said those two key things, which are very, very important. You said sensitization, that is creating an awareness about why it is important for someone to take care of their environment, and also educating our farmers as well on why it is important for them to have a cleaner environment for them to grow what we want to eat, because it's really going to have effect on what we take in. When we are planting on an unsafe, or let me say unclean environment, definitely you are affecting your health. I wish we should be able to have a longer duration to talk about this, because I know we have a lot to discuss, but I can see the network from your hand is not really too good. But I will give you the chance to talk about this. Just give our youth advice there. You said you started by volunteering with other, let me say, other NGOs, but now you have your own NGO, which people are also volunteering under you as well. So, what is your advice to our youth out there on volunteerism? Do you get my point? Hello? Hey, hello, can you hear me? Hello?
No, sir, the network is bad.
Ha, that is very poor. But now, what about now? Can you hear me now?
Sir, I can't hear you. The network is bad.
Maybe you should rejoin again. Now, what I was saying was just that maybe you should give our youth an advice on what they need to do when it comes to volunteerism. You started as a volunteer from different organizations. So, what is your advice to our youth out there on volunteerism? Can you hear me? Hello? Hey, I think
Hello,
the
hello,
network
hello,
is not
sir.
too
I
good.
can hear you now.
Okay, now I was saying, what is your advice for our youth on volunteerism? You started as a volunteer with different NGOs. So, what is your advice to youth on volunteerism?
Oh, my advice for youth on volunteerism is that we see volunteerism in different ways, and volunteerism has a very very great impact, because it's, as a volunteer, it's building your capacity to do things, even things you've not been able to do before. The moment you join any volunteerism organization, that builds your capacity. So I will advise all youth out there to try as much as possible to take part in any volunteering organization, just to take their own part and do the best. It helps a lot. For me, I could remember when I was still young, like anything that has to do with volunteerism, I don't do it because I feel like, what is my business? But I could realize that the moment I joined some NGOs and I started doing volunteerism, that I started, taking my own part, it has built me, it has built my capacity to do much. And that is how I grew from, having a foundation, and, um, working with a lot of NGOs, and that has really helped me a lot. So my advice is that for all youth out there, let them try to take their own part. They can actually join one organization or the other. We have different sustainable developmental goals whereby they can join. It must not be on environment. It can be on farming. It can be on anything. It could be on health. Let them just go out there and take their own parts.
Yes, thank you very much. We are going to be rounding up the show because it's very, very painful that we did not have a seamless communication because the network is not too good from both ends, I think. So thank you very much for coming on the show. I want to believe next time we are going to have enough time to discuss a lot about what environmental is all about and how it contributes to our food security, and that is what the food we take in as well. Till I come away next time, my name is Garuba Fisulumide once again. Thank you and God bless.
Iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀
níṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ wa, ẹni kò ṣiṣẹ́ á máa jalè.
Farming is not just a job. Farming is a way of life. A desolate land is a land thirsty of farmers. And because we know how important farmers are to every nation, that's why we reintroduce to you the Voice of the Farmers. Voice of the Farmers is a media brand that celebrates, educates, and promotes farmers with constant trainees and guide on how best to be a successful farmer. We also link farmers to the right markets to sell their produce and to the right marketers. Voice of the Farmers is active on Facebook, Instagram, and Thread at Voice of the Farmers. We are also on YouTube at Voice of the Farmers TV. For more inquiry on